Catch my streams live, Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. PST. See you there. Hello everybody, my name is Heather Murphy, and today we are reading some juicy fanfic. You guys write it, I read it. We go on emotional, physical journeys together. Hold my hand. We have so many places to go. Corl's POV. I can't believe your name, so you're supposed to insert yourself into this story. Really soak into it. I can't believe Sally moved in across from our house. This is just unbelievable. She even knows who I am. Dennis should meet her. Well, he was supposed to go introduce himself anyways. I wonder if she's awake. I saw her video yesterday. It was a good one, like her other videos. Corl, Dennis says. I ask what? He shrugs and said, let's go record that video. I nod and go to my room and he goes to his. So I'm interested in my new neighbor. I think she's spicy. She makes videos, apparently. Okay. I wake up to the shining sun through my windows. I don't have any curtain blinds up yet, but my windows peek into my backyard, which should be fine. Unless a creepy stalker gets in my backyard. Then it would be anything but fine. But I doubt that will happen. I stretch my legs and then make my bed, since my bed is in the shot when I record. Girl, my bed used to be too. Was it ever made? No! Do I make my bed now? More often than not, but not always. I take a quick shower and throw on some random jeans and a random top, but actually, it looked exactly like this. There was nothing random about it. My style choices were picked intensely. A brown sandal to go with that green olive top. A nice blue jean classic. A nice off-white beige purse to level the whole thing out. I leave my hair down and make my way to where the kitchen is. As soon as I reach the kitchen, I realize I don't have any food. How silly of me. There's no food in my house at all. No food, because I didn't realize I was running out at all before. I just shrug it off and go back to my room. Eating is for the weak. As I lounge around in my room, I hear the doorbell go off. I run to the door to answer it. I'm not sure why I'm excited for a doorbell. I open the door and see some guy. Hey, I say. He says, we got your stuff in the van. I nod and follow him out. His features aren't important, so I won't talk about them. But why would you tell us that you're not going to talk about them? Because that's even less important than his features. So if they're not important, just don't talk about them. But don't tell us that you're not talking about them, because then we enter into a bit of a predicament where that matters less than his features. Sorry. He says, just tell us where to put them. I nod and some other people start carrying the stuff inside and I tell them where to put it. After a while, we finish and I wave them off. I walk inside and take in my new house. Oh, it can look however you want it to. Okay, she lives in a tribal cave covered in vines and blood of her enemies. The movers just brought over the blood in jars and she's frantically throwing it across the floor. There's also bearskin rugs everywhere. She hunts bears. I look around deciding if I like how it looks, and I like it. The bears and blood and vines really look good. I sit on the couch and take out my phone. I eventually decide to go out for groceries. Unless I want to starve, which I don't. I open my garage and I get in my car. I start the car and pull out of the driveway. I close the garage and start driving to the store. When do we meet? I want the fanfic. Once there, I buy some food. Whatever you like. I too lazy to list stuff. She is buying 18 cans of jam, 1 piece of bread, just one, and 8 bottles of sweet pickles. She's also got paper plates. This is what happens when you give me too much power. And start taking bags out of the trunk. As I take some bags out, I see 4 arms grab some bags. I quickly turn around and see Corl and Dennis were stealing her groceries. I let out a sigh of relief and say, "Oh, hey guys, you scared me." Corl laughs, "Ah," and says, "Don't worry, it's just us." Dennis smiles and says, "I'm Dennis, but what I've heard from Corl, you already know me." That's an intro. I nod and he says, "I watched some of your videos too. They're pretty good, and congrats on 500k subs." I smile wide and say, "Thanks, Dennis. What are you two doing here?" Corl shrugs and says, "We were coming anyways, so you could meet Dennis, but then we saw you getting your groceries out, so we wanted to help." I nod and say, "Well, thanks. Just set them on the counter." Corl nods and they both grab 2 bags, just like me, and they bring them inside. We empty the trunk and I lock my car. I close the garage and follow the guys inside. I ask, "What do you guys want to do?" Dennis says, "Well, we could watch a movie, go to our house and hang out, or we could record a collab." I nod and say, "We should collab, shouldn't we?" Corl nods and says, "Yeah, we'll add you to our Skype call and our chat group and we'll go set up. We'll call you when we're ready." I nod and give them my Skype and my number and they give me theirs. I start getting ready for the video when Corl and Dennis call and I say, "Hey guys, let's start." Corl says, "Okay, I'm starting in 3, 2, 1. I press record and I'm sure Dennis did too. Time skip! We finish recording and hang up. I start to edit my video and then I check out the time on my phone. It's only 5. I upload the video and stretch. I make my way to the kitchen and start making myself some dinner since I hadn't eaten all day. After I go back to my room, I get a text from Corl. In text, "Hey." "Oh, hi. Wanna come over? Dennis and I are watching a movie." "Sure, be right there." See ya. I put on my shoes, grab my phone, and make my way to their house. I turn off all the lights and I lock the door. I ring the doorbell to their house and soon after, Corl opens the door. He's smiling from ear to ear and he says, "Hey, come in." I nod and say, "What movie are we watching?" He answers, "We're watching the Lego Batman since Dennis hasn't watched it yet." Fun fact! I have not seen any of the Lego movies. My eyes widen and I ask, "He hasn't watched it? It came out forever ago." Corl laughs and says, "Not forever. That's really long." I do have a knack for comedy. I shake my head and laugh. I see Dennis on the couch and say, "Thur couch, and say, "Hey, Dennis." He says, "Hey, hurry, I already pressed play." I nod and sit down next to him and Corl. The movie starts and I grab some popcorn that was in a bowl in Corl's lap. It's been a week since I've moved in the house. I haven't been to Corl since I went over for the movie, but we've recorded a few videos together. He even introduced me to the pals and added me in their group chat, and we already recorded a video that went up on the main channel. They haven't shown me Sub's face yet, though. And we never will. Maybe they will soon, I have no idea. Corl asked me if I wanted to do a Q&A with him, and being the person that I am, I said yes. So I'm supposed to come over later today. Actually, in 2 hours. I'm laying on my bed and I need to make a video for today. I get up and go over to my desk. I decide to make a short murder mystery video. After recording, I decide not to edit it since it turned out pretty good. That's unheard of. Plus, it's time to go to Corl's now. I put on some random shoes and grab my phone and start to head for Corl's house. I end up wearing this. Okay, that's a cool shirt. Some sick All-Stars. Can never go wrong with a pair of All-Stars. They gotta be dirty though. And a pair of black leggings. Alright. I ring the doorbell and Kronk answers. I wave and say, "Hey Corl, you ready?" He nods and says, "Yeah, you?" I nod and say, "Let's get started." He leads me to his room and I sit on a chair that's next to his already. He starts recording and as expected, we turn into some questions like, "Are you dating?" and stuff. We're not though, are we? I don't think so. He puts on a random movie and I watch with Dennis as Corl stays in his room for a bit. Dennis looks at me during the movie and I look at him. He asks, "Did Corl ask you out yet?" I furrow my brow in confusion and ask me what? He shakes his head and says, "You have to wait until Corl asks you." I nod and we go back to watching the movie. Soon enough, Corl comes and says, "I'm here." I silently laugh. What does silently laughing look like? That was my interpretation. Be quiet, Corl. We're trying to watch a movie. Corl laughs and nods. Ah! He sits down next to him. I look at him for a moment, studying his features. I look away, back at the movie. What was he supposed to ask me? It's a big question. I sit back. I notice Corl looking at me. I ask, what is it? He replies, nothing. I'll tell you later. Oh, yeah. I nod and continue to watch the movie. Dennis gets up and says, I totally forgot to record a video for today. I'll go record. You two can keep watching the movie. Oh, you smooth operator, Dennis. Thank you. Oh, Corl says, okay, you do you. I just nod, and soon after, the movie ends. Corl asks, you want to watch another movie? I shrug and say, depends on what it is. He taps his chin twice and says, what about the Lego movie? In this fan fiction, I have watched nothing but the Lego movie or Lego movies. Is it an unhealthy obsession that will manifest within my character in this story, leading me to create a nation of what I believe to be perfect block specimen? Probably not, but I would like it to go that way. He plays a movie and we continue to watch. Dennis comes back in the middle of the movie and we watch a few more movies, each of us choosing movies. How many movies are we watching? I thought she said it was 5 o'clock earlier and we watched like 5 movies and now it's only 8? Girl, movies last a very long time. It's about 8 now and we're eating pizza that we ordered a little while ago when we got hungry. I suddenly felt something. I say, I need to use the restroom. Where is it? Corl says down the hall. The door is open, so you should see it. I nod and head towards the restroom. I lock the door and then do whatever it is you do. It's a little vague. What, wash your hands? Take a mega dump? I don't know. I unlock the door after drying my hands and head towards the living room. As I walk, I hear Dennis ask, so, did you ask her? Corl answers, no. Not yet, but soon. Dennis says, you don't have that long. You have to do it soon. Corl replies, I know. I walk closer and ask me lot. Corl looks at me and says, I'll tell you later. I nod and sit next to him. We finished the movie, which is The Princess Bride. That's actually a good movie. And before anybody assumes, it was Dennis who chose this. Oh. What would anyone assume from wanting to watch The Princess Bride? As the movie ends, Dennis says, I'm going to sleep now. I nod and Corl and I both say goodnight. Dennis just nods and goes to his room. Corl switches the TV off and says, I need to ask you something. I nod and say, shoot. Corl sighs and asks, would you like to go to England with Dennis and me? I furrow my eyebrows and ask, why are you guys going there? Corl shrugs and says, to see Alex and stuff. I nod and say, sure, when do we leave? Corl smiles and says, in 2 days actually. I nod and say, I should get going. It's not late, but I should get back home. Come on, girl, I just invited you to England. You jetting on me? After we watch 18 movies, one of them being The Princess Bride, most of them being Lego movies, I thought we had something special. Corl just nods and I walk back to my house. I lay in my bed, staring at the ceiling. I'm bored, but not exactly sleepy. I sit up and I stare at my computer. Maybe I should watch YouTube. I go over to my computer and then decide to just watch on my laptop. I grab my laptop and I go on YouTube. I click on a random video from Corl and just watch it, with some other videos. I finally feel a little sleepy around 10. I usually stay up around 10, so it's nothing new. I change into a random shirt and shorts. This girl is always wearing random clothing. It's never like I put on blue pants and a purple blazer. No, it's just I put on whatever was around. I'm a gypsy, free-willed. No plans, no future, only forwards. The shirt is long and goes past the shorts, so it looks like I don't have pants on. I yawn and turn off the lights in the house. I get under my covers and drift off into a peaceful slumber. When is this romance going to pick up? We are 4 pages deep. I need more romance. I wake up, my alarm is going off. I just miss it and get out of bed. Then I remember, it's today. I'm going to miss the flight if I don't hurry. I take a quick shower and throw on some random clothes and slip on some random shoes. I already packed yesterday and we're going to stay in England with Alex for 2 weeks. I grab my phone, a handbag, and my suitcase. I place them outside on my front door and we're going to take Corl's car. I end up wearing this. Nice Letterman, some ripped black jeans, black cons, and a black toque. Not a bad look. I lock the door after making sure all the lights are off and nothing is being used. Corl walks up and says, "Ready?" I nod and say, "Yeah, let's go." He grabs my suitcase while I carry a smaller suitcase. We walk over to his car and load everything in the back. Corl gets in the driver's seat and I don't see Dennis sitting shotgun, so I sit in the passenger seat instead. After a minute or two, Dennis comes out and sees me. He says, "That's, my seat." I shake my head and say, "Too slow. It's mine now. Go sit in the back." He pouts, but then he nods and gets in the back seat. It's a short trip to the airport, and it's quiet sometimes. But usually Dennis or Corl would start a conversation. Time skip! We wait in our seats, and I get a window seat. Corl is next to me, and Dennis is sitting across from us. I stare at the window, and I drift off into sleep. Time skip! We wait outside. Alex is coming to pick us up, but he's not here yet. How hard is it to spot a guy with purple hair? Corl says I found him. He points towards a car, pulling into the pickup lane. I smile, and Alex comes out and says, "Hey guys, just put your luggage in the trunk." I nod and put in my suitcase. I only brought 2. I then rush over to the passenger seat and sit there. Corl laughs and Dennis asks, "Again?" I nod and say, "Too slow." What? I see, because she got into the passenger seat one more time. She's so fast. What a fun character trait. A little quirky, a little spicy. He laughs and then we start driving. Alex turns the radio on. The guys start singing along. And I just silently laugh to myself. Again, what is this silent laughter that she's talking about? Weird descriptors. We finally made it to Alex's house and we pile out of the car. We all grab our own luggage and Alex leads us to the guest bedrooms. There are only 2, so I decided to share the bigger one with somebody. Dennis says, "I want my own room." I roll my eyes and say, "I guess Corl and I are sharing." Boom! Corl shrugs and says, "I don't mind." I nod and we walk into the room. It's picking up, baby. We're in England. We're sharing a room. I think we're about to fall madly in love. It's an average-sized room. There's a white rug and a beanbag next to a bookshelf in the corner. There are 2 desks. I guess we could put our setups there. There's a king-size bed with a small white nightstand beside it. There's a small white couch on the side of the room and a closet on the opposite side. I go over to the closet and set my bags inside. Corl asks, "Do you want the bed?" I shrug and say, "I'll use the couch." He nods and put his suitcase away too. It's 5 and I need to upload and edit some videos. I take my suitcase with my setup in it and start taking it out. I eventually get everything out and organized. Corl does too. I stretch and I look at the small white clock that hangs above the door. It's 7:39. I go to my computer and start editing a random video that I recorded yesterday. When I finish editing, it's 8:27. I turn my computer off and go into the guy's living room. As I open the door, I can hear music. And is that Dennis singing? I go to the living room and see Dennis singing. And the TV on YouTube playing a music video. I don't recognize the song, but I don't mind. I sit down next to Alex as Dennis finishes singing. Dennis says, "All right, who wants to sing next?" Alex says, "Susan, you should sing." I shake my head and say, "No thanks, Corl, you should sing." Corl shrugs and says, "All right, whatever." Alex grabs the remote as Corl reaches for it and Alex says, "I choose the song." Corl rolls his eyes and says, "Fine, choose it." Alex obviously puts on All Star by Smash Mouth. Dennis asks, "What's with you guys and Shrek songs?" Corl shrugs and says, "They're okay." I nod and said, "Doesn't matter why, just sing, I'm bored." It's a little demanding, Susan. Come on, I'm not a puppet for your amusement, I'm a real boy. Dennis rolls his eyes but sings along too. I shake my head at their silliness and I go to the kitchen to get some water. You wanted us to sing? And then we all sing for you and you leave to get water in the middle of our debut. Who raised you? An animal? Is your mom a wombat? I didn't mean that. If you're out there, I'm sorry. I'm sure your mom's a great lady. After I drink a glass of water, Alex comes in and asks, "We're playing Truth or Dare. Want to play?" Yep, just 3 dudes playing Truth or Dare. That's what I like to do with my friends. I shrug and answer, sure. I follow him to the living room, and Dennis points at me and asks, truth or dare? I shrug and say, dare. Dennis says, slap Corl, slap him. I laugh and Corl asks, why me? Dennis shrugs and says, because. Corl frowns and I slap him. Corl says, that hurts, Susan. I shrug and say, okay. We all laugh because it was so funny getting slapped in the face, and continue the game. It's about 10. We decide to stop, and I change into my pajamas. I throw a pillow and blanket on the couch and cover myself up with the blanket. I soon drift off into sleep. This is our first chapter of fanfic. If you want to see where this romance goes, tune in next time. Bye. Be good to your parents. Don't do anything that Gandhi wouldn't do.